Hi everyone, welcome to another video. Today I've got quite an interesting robot that I found to share with everybody. It's called GS Bitcoin. It is comes out of Russia, so the website originally is in Russian, which may be a problem unless you obviously speak Russian. So I've just used Google Translate just to give you a quick overview of this robot. Now, why I found this robot so interesting is that the majority of crypto or Bitcoin trading robots are generally on Bitcoin or crypto exchanges. So the likes of KuCoin, and some of the other exchanges offer you robots, that you can use, but the majority of MT4 MetaTrader robots obviously focus on Forex pairs and gold, etc. So this was quite interesting that this Bitcoin robot works on an MT4 platform, and I thought I'd give it a go and show you guys while I try it out. So it's obviously from a Russian vendor, like I mentioned, GS Bitcoin, or GS stands for Grid Strategy, and it's released about almost 2.5 years ago, and it trades exclusively on Bitcoin USD on the MT4 platform. Now, they claim that you can get anywhere up to 50% or more a month, just depending on the presets you use. When you do purchase the robot, you get 3 different presets. Essentially a safe setting, you get a medium setting, and then obviously aggressive setting if you really want to risk it all. And taking a look at the expert advisor, this is essentially what it looks like when you have it on the chart, but we'll take a look at that on a live account. They do recommend A Markets as their broker for this robot. Now, I'm not sure if that is just an affiliate link from the vendor's perspective, or whether, the spread, as an example, and the latency is actually quite good with that broker. So I'm going to have to try that out. At the moment, I just used a COT4X account as a demo account just to get the robot up and running, just to kind of see, play around with the settings and see how it performs. But I may move over to A Markets, get a demo account if I can, and run this robot and see what sort of results that I get. They do have some screenshots here. They also claim they do have a MyFX books. I haven't taken a look at that yet, but from around a $10,000 deposit, they've made $16,000, which is quite impressive. There's obviously the price for one license and one demo account, or 3 demo accounts, sorry. And then you've got your basic information. So you need to have essentially $1,000 standard account, is advised, reliable VPS. You've got A Markets as the broker, and then you can run it on all different time frames. Now, when we come and look at down here, this is just affiliate links. They've got a Q&A, frequently asked questions section. So essentially this robot is suitable for everybody from the beginner to the experienced trader, which I'm not 100% sure with, and I'll show you why in a minute. And then moving down, they talk about what time frames you can use, essentially any one. And then they talk about what is the principles that this robot is based on. So they talk about things using martingale, which is dangerous, if not used properly and not taken with proper risk management. And they also then write down at the bottom, talk about whether you need to change things on the robot or on the expert advisor when you're running it. So they say technically you don't need to change it, although with price movement over time, there may be some parameters that you can change. There have been some set files that you can for taking profit, but you can change that as you go along, and that is the developer, Andre. So if you guys want to come and try out this robot, purchase it, you can come through. I'll leave a link down below. This is the official website of it here, trader21.ru/GS-Bitcoin. That was the official Russian one that I've just translated into English for the sake of this video. Okay, now we're going to look at the tutorial which comes with this robot. Again, I've taken this PDF and I've had it translated online into English, just so that I could actually understand how this robot works. So there's some contact information, there's some affiliate links. Interesting here, they recommend a different broker in the tutorial, which is RoboForex, whereas online they're talking about a market. So that's why I said I don't know if it's purely just an affiliate thing or if it's actually to do with latency and speed and spread to actually make this successful in trading cryptocurrency or Bitcoin specifically. But we'll test them out and see how it is. And they're talking about essentially setting up the robot, how to copy your EX files across and having it set up. Now, when we scroll down here, there's actually one part that I wanted to talk about now. So there's different base files that they have. So there's three, like I mentioned. The one is the safe one, the one is the medium, and the one is the high risk. Now, when you're talking about this one, which is essentially the safe one that I've downloaded, it's an hour. So you're putting it on an hour chart. You're taking both long and short positions on a normal risk base file. And what it means is that the robot will trade basically both directions. Okay, so it's going to take modes, it's going to take longs, and it's going to take shorts. But we're going to talk about this shortly. So over here, you'll actually see that they recommend a higher time frame. Obviously, the higher time frame you go, the less trades it's going to be, but it's also less risky. And they advise at least 1 hour or a 4-hour chart. Okay, and they talk about simply putting your ear on a chart and waiting for profit forever without doing anything else is the wrong approach. In order to earn consistently, you need to follow a number of recommendations and know the possible nuances and risks associated with this EA. That's why it has additional options and a range of strategies. And that's what I said earlier. When you look at the website, yes, it can be used for beginners up to, experts. But in my opinion, this is not very beginner focused, because as you get deeper into this tutorial, you're going to see that they actually recommend more and more that you get really hands-on with a robot and start tailoring it, obviously to reduce the risk. But it does add some complexity, especially for the beginner in using this robot. So what they talk about is coming over here to this supporting website, which I've got open here as well, that I'll also link down below. And it's essentially a template or expert advisor that gives you an indication of your weekly TMAs that you can see here from the screenshot. And what they recommend is actually using this weekly TMA indicator to trade with the robot if you want to be extremely safe. So what you do is that once you load your robot on the time frame, let's say, initially we spoke about only using, I think it was up here. Sorry guys, I'm just going to find it quickly. Here we go. They talked about using the set file, which takes long and short, so basically buys and sells, which is what I'm currently testing. But if you want to be really safe, you can change it to only take buys and only take sells. Now, when you get down to the bottom here, this is exactly what they start talking about. So they say that essentially what you want to do is you need to look at this template here. And when the market moves above your green line, right, you need to change your expert advisor to only take sells. And then similarly, when the market moves below the red line, you then change your expert advisor to only take buys. And that way you reduce your risk entirely. I'm assuming then when you're somewhere around in the middle here, or somewhere around maybe ranging, you could then try using both the buys and the sells feature, which is quite interesting. And then they obviously give you a whole lot of different strategies if you want to use it here to basically, mitigate blowing your account or going into huge drawdown. So it is quite hands-on, I would say, but I actually do appreciate the fact that they've given you multiple options. They've given you some guidance on how to use the robot if you want to be very aggressive, or, if you want a medium approach. And then also incorporating, some other trading methodology using only sells or only buys into this. So let's take a look at the robot quickly. Let's jump over to the VPS. So as you can see here, I've got it running on a COT demo account. Definitely not, let's say, the broker I would use off the bat for this robot. Nothing wrong with COT. I do use them for my other trading platforms, but I haven't actually looked into a suitable broker, that's going to have really low spread, especially on Bitcoin or on cryptocurrency, and that's going to allow this robot to really thrive with low latency for the VPS. This was just, the kind of broker I chose offhand to run the bot on. So I've put the bot on, and the bot's actually running on this left chart over here. So you can see it looks very similar to what we had in the user manual. It's currently got a buy and it's currently got a sell. I am using the 1 hour 60-minute safe settings, taking both buys and sells. So that's currently what I'm doing. I haven't yet experimented or tried the one that they speak about over here, which is essentially using only buys or only sells depending on the weekly TMAs. But I have got that installed over here. So looking at the weekly TMAs, you'll see that in this case it's the blue line and the red line. And essentially when you were here at the bottom below the red line, you should have then changed your robot to take only buys, and kind of up here, maybe where we are now even, the robot should only be taking sells, which is obviously not how I have it set up at the moment. And that's for a really safe approach. So I don't have it set up at the moment to trade that way. I'm basically just testing out the safe base set file, buys and sells, and we're going to see how that goes for a couple of months. And then after that, we can always change it around and go really safe here. So there's nothing much to report in terms of trades because I haven't had it for that long. But we can have a look here quite quickly. So $1,000 deposit, you'll see they've all hit stop losses. So it works on sort of a trailing stop loss, I assume, rather than a specific take profit point. And you're really making 42 cents, 92 cents, $2, $3.19. So overall, so far, I mean, this has been running for essentially 1 day, right? On the late of the 19th, I set it up, 20th. So let's call it 2 days. I've made $6-7 in profit from $1,000, and I am currently in drawdown of $12. So nothing major to report yet. Can't really draw any conclusions from this, but we'll see how it goes as time goes along. Maybe towards the end of next month, we'll have a month's worth of data that we can review and give some feedback on how this robot is performing, especially using the set pre-file of taking both buys and sells. If it doesn't work out so well, I'll switch over either to the recommended broker, A Market or Robo Forex in the tutorial, and then see if that makes a difference, with things like spread, and make the robot essentially more profitable and low risk than taking only buys or only sells using this weekly TMA. So that's pretty much it. I just thought I'd share it with you, a robot that I found, and I'm going to be trying out for the next couple of months to see how it performs. I'm always looking to diversify the robots that I have, so I very much enjoy gold trading robots, just from a profitability perspective. There's obviously a lot of Forex robots out there that you can use. We're going to get to some indices robots hopefully soon on NASDAQ or US30, etc. For a bit more volatility and a bit more risk, but obviously a lot more profitable when you do catch it the right way. And that's why I thought it would be quite interesting to look at this Bitcoin robot, because it may be a nice addition to your portfolio to just diversify. So that's all from me now. We'll chat in a month and hopefully have some good results to share with everybody. Thanks so much.